this crazy place. Some guy just parked right next to me, and it's 7 o'clock, so the sunrise is at 7:18, so I can start driving with like 10 to 7. And I started warming up the engine, and I hear his truck are like shaking, you know, like moving. So I thought maybe he climbed out of that door, the passenger side door, to go into the coffee shop. And but then I got afraid that the guy would fall asleep, you know, at 7 in the morning. And so I go to knock on his door, and there's a guy like slumped in the driver's seat with his head on the steering wheel. Some young kid, looks like, you know, Asian or something. And I knock on the door, and he's like, boom, you know, jumps up. And I said, hey bud, I need to get out. Can you back, you know, like go back behind me. And guess what? He just started the truck and left. I never saw something like that. So basically the guy fell asleep. He stopped for a second and just fell asleep behind the wheel. And that's why I say this is a crazy place, because people park all over, you know, and they block you and everything. At my truck sometimes, you know, from the side, and I cannot believe it's my truck. Like, how the heck did I get to this? You know, like the 30-foot long truck with a 605 horsepower, tandem Jeep that was priced conveniently at your local trailer manufacturer for only, quote unquote, 50,000 Canadian. And then the trailer, 60-ton trailer, and the Stinger. But of course, you know, the Jeep, normally you can get a Jeep like this for if you're buying everything together, like a trailer. I was, you know, when I was checking out some 65-ton options. Okay, are we gonna manage with this guy over here? Yeah, we are fine. Lots of space, couple of inches on each side. We are good. No, of course I'm joking. There was like 5 meters on this side, 2 feet on this. But speaking about spacing, I was worried, and I'm still worried, because a friend of mine just went, who also does heavy haul. He just went through this area, you know, and I'm on my permit. This is my permitted route. And he said there's a couple of spots which are very narrow. He says, how wide are you? I said 12.7. And he says, and they give you the permit? I said, yeah. Oh, by the way, I need to take off the camera in the back there. So he says, hey, there's a couple of spots. He says, I was 10.6, and I think, and he says, when I went through, I was about I had about 1 foot on each side. And I'm like, wait a second, 1 foot on each side, 10.6, so that's like 12.6, right? And I'm 12.7. And I said, do you remember where it was? And he said, well, check the 511. And by the way, guys, you can, if you ever go to Canada, I think I can stop somewhere here. Yeah, if you ever go to Ontario, they have a nice website. No, I don't want to go inside there. I'm like, whoa, we don't have any shoulder anywhere? Come on. Well, actually, there's nobody behind me. Because after this, there's mountains over there, like big hills. Of course, now I need to clean my hand. It's impossible to stay clean. Son of a... So he says, check 511. Check 511 Ontario. And he's always telling me about that website. I never used it. Well, I think I used it once, but it's so slow sometimes because it needs a lot of data. Because that's a lot of information over there. And sure enough, west of Long Lake, that's where I spent the night. That's where I just left, Long Lake. On 511on.ca, it shows, oh, you see, that means it's already sunrise. So yeah, www.511on for Ontario.ca. It shows a construction site, like there's a little picture west of this place. And this guy says, well, I think there's 2 of them. He says, I'll send you pictures. I said, what do you mean 2? He says, in this area, there's like 2 bad spots. And so he sends me a picture, and I look at them, and I'm like, holy moly, how am I gonna go through there? Because one of them is narrow, and it's like this. Like basically, they close one lane, and then you have to go, you know, in the opposite lane, and then not only is it narrow, but the problem is that you have to do this, and I have the Jeep, the Stinger, right? So it's not easy when you're this long. So one side of the trailer will try to move to the side, because I cannot just turn like this, right? There's an off track between each element. And so and then there's another spot where it seems like in the same lane, so it's not as zigzaggy as the previous one, but it's also very narrow. For some reason he took a picture, I don't know. probably for his own reference or something. And he says, but on your route they sent you on 1117. I said, yeah. I said, I don't see any detours. But on 511 there's only one construct. I said, are you sure there's two? Because maybe it's already, you know, they finished, because on the map it's only one, and it's not near Lone Lake. It's just west of Jellicoe, which is 1 hour this way. And he said, no, there's two. And sure enough, yesterday I went through a couple of closed ones where it says, you know, 70 kilometers an hour construction, but then there's nothing. What they were doing basically, like there's places with some tiny bridges, and they were installing railing on each side. And so because of that, they would close one lane, you know, like let's say they close this lane, they work on that side, then they close this lane, they work on the railing on this side. But I saw, so I went through a couple of those where it said construction, but then there's nothing there, and I see guys already taking off the signs, you know. And I got happy, you know. I thought, hey, probably that's the side my buddy was talking about. But then I see another sign, construction 70 kilometers an hour, and I see a blinking light. Uh-oh. So basically, you know, it's one of those construction lights. Like, so that means it's something serious, right? When they have to stop traffic, not just with a flagman. You know, sometimes they have a guy, a girl sitting there with the radio on. Like, there's two people on both ends, and they have a radio, and so one guy opened that side, the other guy closes this side with a, you know, stop sign or slow. On one side it says stop, on the other one he flips the sign, or she, it says slow. And if you try to fly through that, they always, you know, show you this, like, you know, slow down, please slow down. Because there are people working, right? You can go to prison if something happens and you cause an accident. You don't want to, you know, rush through a construction site. I never do. But anyway, so I see the light, and man, I recognize the thing from my friend's picture. It's the zigzag, except on his picture it was going this way, like basically to the right on the shoulder. But in my reality it was this, and I thought maybe he flipped the pictures, and then I remembered that, wait a second, he was coming back from Alberta, I think, so he was not going west, he was going this way. And so for him, when he took the picture, that zigzag was on this side, on the right, but for me it was on the left. And so the second one where I'm gonna cross, on his picture was on the left, which means that for me it's gonna be here. But basically it just does a slight curve, like, you know, you go on the shoulder, and then it's very narrow, and there's a concrete barriers on this side, and there's that railing on that side. Oh man, so I went through the first one, and it was very, very tight, you know. No, if it was a straight lane, I wouldn't have a problem, because it was maybe like 3-4 inches on each side only. And my tracks at the bottom are 1110. Okay, like the wide part 12.7 only starts at about a chest level, and that's very important, right? So I can go through a 12-foot wide lane, as long as if they have some Jersey barriers, as long as they're like regular, you know, knee high or up to your here, you know, upper leg, I'm okay. Because again, the edge of the track to edge of the track is 1110. It's not 12.7. But if it's something crazy like a big barrier, which you almost never see, then I really need like 13 feet. You know, I leave a couple of inches on each side of my 12.7, right? And on the 511 website, sometimes they post if there's a limit, you know, like in width or height. When you click on that picture, like there was a picture of, you know, construction, like I think it's construction cone, like a little logo over here west of Jellicoe. You click on that and it gives you like a explanation. There's like a legend in there, right? And for this particular one, it says the width, the lane, the effective width of the lane is 3.7 meters. So you take 370, divide by 2.54, and that's your inches, and it's 146 inches. 147, yeah, because I remember it was just 3 inches over 12, because of course 12 feet is 12 by 12 is 144, and so this thing is going to be 12 feet 3 and then like half an inch. So basically 12 inches and 3.5, 12 feet and 3.5 inches, which, like I said, so, and I'm 11'10", right? So imagine, so I have 5 inches, 5 inches, so 2.5 inches on each side. But I have chains, you know, chains are sticking out at the bottom of the tracks, probably 1 inch on each side. Oh boy. And so yesterday, yeah, I scratched one of my chains a little bit, but I didn't touch the machine. You know, it was one of those barriers, like a temporary barrier, and because it was like this, I see at one point the chain on the track came close, and then when I look at it, I see a tiny little scratch on the chain, but I didn't damage anything, you know, nothing fell down, but it was very stressful, you know. I had to go like, I don't know, 2 clicks an hour, super slow, and watch my sides, you know, have my head on a swivel. So this one should be better because it's not the zigzag, but it's still, you know, there's still a turn in there. And the problem with that is that, you know, if I want to keep the rear of my trailer away from the railing, right, I have to go like this. Like you saw how I was getting out of the parking lot, right? Because there was a guy in front of me, and so I had to go really sharp to the right to avoid hitting him with the rear of my trailer. And so the same principle, if I'm going to that construction zone, I need space on the right, right, when it curves. I need more space here so I can send the truck that way and then turn, you know. And so when it's very narrow, you cannot do that, and that's what happened at that zigzag during that zigzag operation. They just don't think, you know. And that one is not even on the map. Like, how am I supposed to know about this? I only knew about it, I only suspected it was there because my friend sent me a text message. Well, a picture by text. I don't know why he's using text. When I'm sending a picture, I always use email, because I think it, when you're texting a picture, I think it compresses it more. I don't think the quality is as good, you know. And so, yeah, so today I'm just going to Dryden. It's supposed to be 650 clicks, so probably 400 miles roughly. So 100 clicks is 60 miles, so 360 plus 30, yeah, 390. I was even thinking, I was lying in bed thinking about this construction site. I was thinking maybe I should stop on the shoulder, you know, and just take off my chains on the tracks. But I'll have to stop and evaluate before I go through it, you know. Because first of all, if it's too narrow, well, this thing at least was on 511, and they tell you, right, 3.7 meters, so 12.3 wide, so technically I should fit in. And so the railing and the Jersey barrier, those are my two opponents going through that area. Yesterday was raining on and off, sometimes pretty heavy, and so yeah, I slept the previous night. I spent at the new Liskeard, right, and then yesterday it took me almost all day to get from New Liskeard to Lawn Lake. And I don't like that place because that coffee shop is just crazy. I bought a bottle of water today because I ran out of water due to some deficient planning, and half a liter, 18 ounces, was $2.75 Canadian, and they only take cash. And in front of the bathroom there's a big sign that says no, what does it say? No, but there's some very strict rules, because I guess some Indian guys get excited when they see a bathroom. Yeah, I think it said no bathing, and I was surprised to see again, no teeth brushing. Like, what? You cannot even brush your teeth? Like, that's just, you know, ridiculous. And then cash only, but at least there's parking. Coffee was kind of like mediocre, but I got some tea this morning. I said, give me a bottle of water please, so $2.75 Canadian. I give her $5 and she gives me $1 and change back. I said, what is this? How much did you charge me for the cup with hot water? And she says 35 cents. So why do I have $1? Okay, and then I look and it's like $1.50 change. So of course $2.75 plus 35, that's already $3 plus tax, 13%. And basically my $5 is gone and I have some $1 and change back. I said okay, but at least, you know, I decided to get to make myself some herbal tea, because recently I started drinking again too much coffee. And on these hills, if somebody's curious about fuel mileage, well, it's not 78. That's just because I was idling, warming up the truck, right? Because that's your instantaneous fuel mileage. But yesterday, all day, it was 65 liters per 100 kilometers. Because there was a lot of hills. And after the first stop, I stopped in Cochrane, Ontario, and I bought 500 Canadian, $500 worth of fuel, and it was $1.37 a liter Canadian. So I filled up one tank, that's it, $500. And now I see my main tank is between 1/4, you see over there, right? Just about 1/4, and over here it's kind of like around the half. So I'll have to buy fuel again, and my next stop is Nipigon, and over there it's always expensive. It's definitely gonna be more money than in Cochrane. Can be $1.45. And so what I did is, I know Dryden, my last stop for the day, Dryden is always the cheapest fuel in this northern Ontario. I don't know, maybe there's some warehouse over there, or they make fuel over there, you know, like what they call it, distillery? No, that's for vodka. No, for oil as well, right? So, but it's always cheap in there. And so now when I stop, I'm gonna get only enough to let me get to Dryden. And so I went to Google Maps and I checked the distance from Nipigon, Ontario to Dryden, Ontario, and it turns out it's like 340 kilometers. And since I know on average I spend 65 liters, so I just multiplied 65 by 3.4, which is hundreds of kilometers, right? So 3.4, and that's what I'm gonna get. I'm just gonna get bare minimum, and then I'm gonna fill up in Dryden, and my def is also getting low. Alright, so where's this crazy... Oh, over there. I see the red, or yellow rather, yellow color. I remember it was 88 kilometers away from Long Lake. So if I left at 7, yeah, I should be there at 8. This is the famous place. It says Geraldton, like this gas station. It used to be a gas station here. I remember this. So it used to be a gas station, and so I stopped here facing this way with my yellow International. This was when I worked for Landstar. I see Jellicoe, 46 kilometers, so it's just west of Jellicoe is that crazy spot. And so I worked for Landstar, and I think I was pulling a flatbed or step deck, something like that, but not a dry van for sure. And I stopped there. This was winter, and I had a bunk heater, right? So I left a bottle of water on the dash. I closed the curtains, didn't check the weather. It was about like minus 18, minus 20, somewhere there, but I know my truck started no problem. At minus 18 I was using good oil, the starter was good, And so I closed the curtains, went to sleep, watched some movies, and I woke up because I was cold. I woke up, you know, basically the heater couldn't keep up with the cold. That's not a good sign. And the engine was off, so all night. And I poke my head through the curtains, and the first thing I see is the bottle of water on the dash is frozen completely. Uh-oh. I turn the key to look at the temperature on the dash. You know, I turn on the without starting the engine. And it says minus 42 Celsius. So minus 40 is Celsius is minus 40 F. That's where they're the same. Minus 40 Celsius, minus 40 Fahrenheit. So, and I tried to start the truck, nothing. The starter was working, but no, I don't remember. Was the starter working? So the truck was dead. So I had to call local guys that deal with situations. I think I called a towing company. Yeah, and some guys showed up in a pickup truck with some special heater, and they set up some screens around the truck. So basically my oil was frozen. And so they put that special heating thing under the truck, and they set up screens so that the wind does not go in. And it took them over 4 hours to warm up my truck so that I can start it. And so that was quite an experience, but at least there was a gas station there. I could go in, and of course, you know, for 4 hours it's minus 40. What do? Inside the truck, you know, like sooner or later your battery will die if you keep running the bunk heater. So I think I was spending the time at that gas station. I mean, so thankfully it was open, right? So now you see it's closed, there's no sign, the sign was taken off. So yeah, that's what the weather can be like here in winter. Very dangerous. So places like this, always a good idea to check the weather forecast before you go to sleep, especially if you shut down your engine. have a choice. I'll have to, whatever price is there, I don't care. I just need fuel, or I'm not gonna make it to Dryden. But I'll just fill up, let's say 70 liters per 100 kilometers, and it's, like I said, it's 345 kilometers, so 7 times 3, 210, and plus 30 over there. Yeah, I'll get like 250 liters maybe. But there's a reservation there. Right before 17, there's a First Nation reserve, and they do have a fuel station in there, but I don't think I can fit in there. I think it's pretty small, but their price is cheaper, of course, because there's no taxes. You don't pay a sales tax for some reason, even though you're not a member of that First Nation club. There's still no taxes, and the prices are very low. Alright, so we should be able to see the lake. And it's very long. Here we go. Lake Helen. This thing, like 20 kilometers long probably. See how I have to stick out this way, because it's narrow and the turns are pretty sharp. Pretty shallow. I see rocks in the middle. Wow. So you can do that trick, you know, walk on water. This is not even yet the worst part. The worst part will be where there's rocks. That's when it gets real narrow. Oh, here we go. There's something here. turn. Alright, where's my track? My track is on the white line, okay. The right one. Shoulder. Good boy. Alright, here we have somebody sitting on the shoulder. What is that? Oh, it's a rest area. Okay, so he's off the road. Yeah, he is. These are the rocks I was talking about, but actually, yeah, the shoulder on that side is pretty wide. But yeah, in winter it's a bit scary here, because especially when the shoulders are covered in snow. Oh, and I can already see the bridge, that huge bridge with lots of cables very far away, but that's 17. Wow, I never saw it before from this side. It's a new bridge they built a few years back over there, and so my truck stop is somewhere there. Guys, write in the comments what do you think the price for fuel is at Nipigon Husky, and then I'll post at the end what the actual price is. So it's Canadian, of course, so it's Canadian dollars per liter, and there's 3.78 US gallons. Sorry, the opposite way, 3.78 liters in 1 US gallon. Oh, we're only 3 clicks away from the turn. And that's why I was able to see the bridge. So spot to meet the truck. Move, 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 move. And I think that's it. So the speed limit is 70. I see it says Lake Helen Indian Reserve, Red Rock Indian Band. So they actually use the word Indian. So 1.5 kilometers to the turn. Oh, and that turn, I'm trying to remember, is it sharp? I remember there was something bad about it as well. I think there's curbs in there. We'll see. Bye bye, Lake Helen. And the big sign on the right, the green sign. with white lettering. It says 17 East, Sault Ste. Marie this way, Thunder Bay 1117 West this way. Oh, they're making it bigger. That's cool. So that's the station I was talking about. Oh, yeah, I see they're building real pumps in there. So when it's finished, I will be buying fuel over there. Oh, okay, I don't think there's curbs in here. Yeah, sometimes I mix up the turns. Oh, beautiful.
Continue on Ontario 11 West for 2 kilometers.
We don't need no stinking curves. And that's the bridge. Very unusual design. Thunder Bay 112, 112 clicks. And this is actually Nipigon River. Nipigon River. It either flows in or flows out from that lake. Another hill. Six low? No. How about 5 low? Wow. How about 3? You happy now? High. Wow. Yeah, it's a very big hill. What do you know? This is a very powerful engine, boys and girls. I don't care what they say. Oh, and we have a biker. Alright, let's see if we can... Oh, never mind. Disregard that comment. Nodded at me, I guess she liked that I moved left. Alright, so where's our truck stop over here?
Continue straight to stay on Trans-Canada Highway, Ontario 11 West.
2.4 kilometers, are you sure?
Continue on Ontario 11 West for 2 kilometers.
Okay. Yeah, these might be cheaper, but I don't have a PetroPass fuel card. That's the one coming up on the right. But people park there a lot of people park there because there's Tim Hortons over there, right? But I don't care about Tim Hortons, so. And quite often I have oversized loads, right? And the Husky parking lot is much bigger. And then here we have Esso. But they don't have, oh, check this out, a heavy hauler guy with a single axle Jeep. Oh, was he honking at me? Single axle Jeep. Tandem. Oh, yeah, I know. Wow. That's the guy. Oh, he's already here. I'm pretty sure that's the guy who was loading together with me in Zanesville. Because I remember he had this weird 4-axle truck and a single axle Jeep, and I'm thinking, why do you need a single axle Jeep? So that's why, because he was going to, of course, me too, Alberta, right? So you cannot use a lift axle. Yeah, I think that was the guy. So you see, he already went to Alberta and came back empty. He probably on his way to get the other machine, because they wanted me to come back empty, and they were asking me how much money you need to. Oh, and I like this Husky because there's a restaurant here, you know. So today is Sunday, so I can have some bad food. Diesel 141.9. But it's actually not too bad, because when I was fueling in Cochrane, it was $1.37, right? So, and check this out. They go. Because yeah, he's blocking my. What the heck is he doing? He was blocking my my turn. And actually, I don't even know. Is it wide enough there? Yeah, I need to go straight, because I might need to. back out of there. And there were some pretty big potholes over here. So finally they fixed them. Well, this thing is wide, except there's a truck parked on the other side there. Oh, and I'm gonna get deaf. The only problem here is that you have to do it twice. First you have to get fuel, prepay, and then go and prepay for oh yeah, I see that guy. No, I can make it go like this wide. This guy broke down here. Anyway, that's it, boys and girls. Thanks for watching. We'll continue. I'll do maybe a couple of videos in Dryden, because I might be sitting there Monday again, because I'm not sure if they will approve my permit Monday, so I might sit there maybe for a day. Oh, this guy is moving. Beautiful.